30 strange home features that have disappeared. Have you ever walked past a quiet old house and wondered, what was that tiny door for? Or, why is there a lone toilet sitting in the middle of the basement like that? Before modern technology boomed and changed everything, our homes used to hide countless architectural features that were incredibly unique. Sometimes quirky to the point of disbelief, yet extremely smart and convenient, helping to shape people's daily lives. Today, we're going to explore 30 of those unique features, innovations that were once highlights in home architecture, but are now largely forgotten. Get ready for a journey full of nostalgia and knowledge. Wall plates/anchor plates. You might easily spot these distinctive metal plates, often shaped like an S, X, or star on the exteriors of old brick or stone houses. At first glance, they might seem like mere decorative details, but in reality, they were an indispensable part of the structural reinforcement system, playing a crucial role in keeping walls sturdy. These plates were connected to long iron rods running through the walls, helping to prevent walls from bulging out or collapsing over time. This was especially necessary for older brick and stone constructions, which lacked the flexibility and distributed load-bearing capacity of modern materials. Nowadays, thanks to significant advancements in construction techniques, including the use of steel frames and reinforced concrete, house structures are much more robust. Consequently, these wall plates have gradually become obsolete and are no longer used in new constructions. However, they remain there, like historical symbols, reminding us of the ingenuity of past generations of architects and builders. Coal chute door. If you've visited old houses, especially in large cities or cold climates, you might have noticed a small iron door near the foundation. This is the coal chute door, a feature that was extremely common before modern heating systems existed. Back then, coal was the primary fuel for heating, and coal delivery people would pour coal directly through this door into the basement. In the basement, the homeowner would shovel the coal into the furnace to heat the entire house. Imagine the convenience. The delivery person didn't need to enter the house, and the coal transfer process was much faster, reducing dust in the living space. However, the advent of natural gas and electric heating systems completely transformed how we heat our homes. These methods are not only more efficient and cleaner, but also much more convenient. As a result, coal furnaces and these coal chute doors gradually became obsolete. Today, though no longer serving their original function, many of these iron doors still exist, like relics of a bygone era. Built-in phone nooks and landline phone jacks. In old houses, you might find exquisitely designed recessed niches or small shelves built right into the walls. These were built-in phone nooks, created to hold those bulky old landline phones. Often accompanied by a small shelf for phone books or pens, these nooks demonstrated thoughtful design to serve the communication needs of the era. Alongside them were landline phone jacks, small square outlets distributed throughout the house, allowing phones to be connected in various locations. The convenience of being able to plug in a phone anywhere in the house was a huge advancement at the time. However, with the explosion of mobile phones and wireless communication technology, the role of landline phones has completely disappeared. Now we can carry the whole world in our pockets. Today, built-in phone nooks are often creatively repurposed, becoming decorative display spaces for small, charming items. Ice door. At the back or side of many old houses, you might find a rather peculiar small door, often leading directly into the pantry. This is the ice door, an essential feature before modern refrigerators appeared. At that time, to keep food fresh, people used ice boxes, insulated cabinets cooled by large blocks of ice. This door allowed the ice delivery person to place the ice block directly into the ice box without needing to enter the house. This was not only convenient, but also helped maintain hygiene and privacy for the family. It was a smart solution for food preservation under the limited conditions of the era. However, the great invention of the modern refrigerator in the early 20th century completely changed the game. Refrigerators provided continuous, efficient, and much more convenient cooling, making the purchase and delivery of ice unnecessary. Today, these ice doors are rarely seen in modern homes. laundry chute. In multi-story homes built from the early to mid-20th century, the laundry chute was a simple yet incredibly smart and practical feature. Instead of carrying baskets of dirty laundry from upper floors down to the laundry room, people could simply toss them into this chute. Thanks to gravity, the dirty clothes would fall directly to the laundry area, significantly saving time and effort. This was a testament to the ingenuity and design aimed at optimizing household chores. Despite being very convenient, laundry chutes gradually lost popularity due to safety concerns, especially the risk of small children crawling in or getting hurt. Additionally, changes in modern home layouts, where laundry rooms are often located on the same floor as bedrooms for convenience, also made this feature less necessary. However, with the trend of personalization and the search for convenience, some modern homeowners are considering bringing them back as a creative custom feature. Pittsburgh Potty. This is perhaps one of the strangest and most confusing features for many people to see for the first time. A lone, exposed toilet in the middle of the basement without any surrounding walls or privacy. The Pittsburgh Potty was very common in industrial cities in the US before World War II. Its main purpose was to serve workers in heavy industries like steel workers or miners. After a shift full of dirt and sweat, they would go straight to the basement to clean up, change clothes, and use this toilet before stepping into the family's main living areas. This helped prevent dirt and grime from the workplace from contaminating the house. Clearly, functionality was prioritized over modesty. Today, most of these toilets have either been removed or enclosed with walls to provide necessary privacy. Among these unique features, which one's original purpose surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. Pantry. A pantry is a separate storage space for food and kitchen equipment that was once an indispensable feature in most homes. It could be a small built-in cabinet or a spacious walk-in pantry, depending on the house size. The primary purpose of a pantry was to help keep main kitchen cabinets tidy and organized by storing dry goods, canned goods, bulk spices, and seldom-used kitchen appliances. This freed up valuable space in the main kitchen cabinets. However, in modern kitchen design, the trend often prioritizes larger built-in cabinets or open-concept spaces, sometimes reducing the need for a separate pantry. Nevertheless, with increasing storage needs and the desire for an organized kitchen, a pantry is still considered a must-have feature by many when buying or building a home. Its excellent organizational capability and its ability to free up main kitchen cabinet space remain a major plus for many modern families. Ceiling beds / Sorlian beds. Have you ever dreamed of a living space so flexible that your bed could completely disappear when not in use? Ceiling beds, also known as Sorlian beds, were just such a solution, patented in 1913. This was an incredibly creative space-saving design where the bed would be lowered from the ceiling using a counterweight and crank system. When not in use, it could be raised and neatly tucked away into a ceiling recess, freeing up the entire floor space below. Despite being very clever, ceiling beds did not achieve widespread popularity like their cousin, the Murphy bed, which folded into the wall. This might have been due to the complexity of their mechanism or installation costs. However, with rising real estate prices and shrinking apartment sizes, these unique beds are experiencing a small resurgence in modern micro-apartments. They are seen as an innovative way to maximize square footage and create multifunctional spaces. Push-button light switches. Before the toggle or rocker switches common today, push-button light switches emerged in the late 1800s and became prevalent in the early 1900s. They featured two buttons, one to turn the light on and another to turn it off. This design offered a classic feel and a very distinctive operation, becoming an icon of homes from that era. However, over time, these buttons were prone to sticking, causing inconvenience for users. More dangerously, if the internal wiring overheated due to a malfunction, they posed a potential fire hazard. These limitations in durability and safety led to their gradual replacement by more modern, safer, and more durable switch types. Boot scrapers. As you walk past old houses, especially near the main entrance, you might notice a small cast iron fixture low to the ground. This is a boot scraper, an essential item in an era when roads were primarily dirt, and horses were the main mode of transportation. The purpose of a boot scraper was for pedestrians or horseback riders to scrape off mud, dirt, or even horse manure from their boots before entering the house. This helped keep the indoor floors clean, preventing outdoor grime from being tracked inside. With the development of transportation infrastructure as roads were paved and cars gradually replaced horses as the main mode of transport, the need for boot scrapers significantly diminished. Nowadays, they are no longer a necessary item. However, you can still see them in historic neighborhoods or well-preserved homes. Root cellars. Before modern refrigerators became widespread, root cellars were an indispensable food storage space in many homes. This was a cool, dark space, often built entirely underground or partially buried. Its main purpose was to preserve vegetables, fruits, and other perishable foods for long periods without electricity. Thanks to the natural insulation of the earth, root cellars could maintain a cool and stable temperature year-round. This helped extend the shelf life of produce, ensuring a food supply for families throughout long winters or large harvests. However, the invention of the modern refrigerator made root cellars obsolete for most families. The convenient and flexible cold storage capability of refrigerators completely replaced the cellar's function. Nevertheless, root cellars are still used by some today, especially in rural areas, for storing organic produce, aging cheese, or keeping wine. They are a symbol of self-sufficiency and a lifestyle close to nature. Razor blade disposal slots. Imagine standing in the bathroom of an old house and suddenly noticing a mysterious small slot inside the built-in medicine cabinet. This is a razor blade disposal slot, a feature that seems peculiar but was very practical in the era before modern razors came into being. At that time, people commonly used double-edged safety razors, and safely disposing of old blades was an issue. This slot was designed so you could slide used blades inside and they would fall into the hollow space between walls or beneath the floor. The idea was out of sight, out of mind. This helped avoid danger for cleaners and kept the bathroom tidy. With the advent of modern disposable razors or safety blade containers, this feature became unnecessary. However, it's fascinating that many old houses today still harbor a hidden hoard of razor blades inside their walls or beneath their floors, sometimes only discovered when homeowners undertake major renovations or repairs. It's a small but intriguing detail about the history of personal hygiene. Dumbwaiters. Have you ever dreamed of a house where food could magically move up and down between floors? That's precisely the function of a dumbwaiter. These are small elevators, often operated by a simple pulley system, designed to transport food, dishes, and other household items between floors. They were especially useful in large homes where the kitchen and dining room might be on different levels, reducing the effort of caring for the homeowners or staff. Imagine the convenience of not having to go up and down stairs dozens of times just to bring food. However, with changes in modern home layouts, kitchens and dining rooms are often closer together. Along with the development of kitchen appliances and simpler lifestyles, dumbwaiters are typically no longer used. Nowadays, many of these dumbwaiters are repurposed into unique storage spaces or simply sealed off, becoming a retired architectural feature of the house. Our channel may be new, but the stories we're telling are timeless. Join us by subscribing and let's rediscover the past together. Thank you so much. Servant stairs. In grand estates and old mansions, you might find a second set of stairs, narrower, steeper, and often hidden behind small doors, usually leading from the kitchen or pantry. These are the servant stairs. The purpose of this staircase was to allow service staff to move between floors without disturbing the homeowners and guests. This helped maintain privacy and respect for the social hierarchy of the time. Instead of using the formal main staircase where hosts would entertain guests, servants would use this private passage to perform household chores, bring food to rooms, or clean. This design clearly reflected the social structure and lifestyle of the upper class in the past. Today, as home models and society have changed, servant stairs are rarely seen outside of historic homes and preserved mansions. Servant floor buttons. Following the idea of dividing space and roles in grand estates, servant floor buttons are another unique detail. This was a small, discreet button, often placed under a rug or dining table in the dining room or living room. Its purpose was for the homeowners to summon the butler or service staff quietly and discreetly just by pressing with their foot. This button was connected to a bell or buzzer system, usually located in the kitchen or staff area. This allowed homeowners to request assistance without having to call out loudly or leave the dining table. It was a symbol of convenience and power in wealthy families of old. With changes in family structures and live-in household staff no longer being common, most of these buttons are no longer functional. However, they still exist in many old houses, like relics of a past era, telling the story of a lifestyle and a social system that no longer exists. Milk doors. In the past, before refrigerators became commonplace in every home, daily fresh milk delivery to homes was an essential service. For convenience and hygiene, many old houses were equipped with a mysterious small door integrated directly into the side of the house. This was the milk door. The milk delivery person would place full milk bottles through this compartment and simultaneously retrieve the empty ones from the day before. This allowed delivery and collection to happen quickly without disturbing the homeowner or entering the living space. It was a great example of home design optimized for the utility services of the time. However, the significant advancement of the household refrigerator, along with the development of the grocery store system, made home milk delivery less necessary. Consumers could now buy milk in larger quantities and store it in refrigerators. Today, many of these milk doors still exist, although they are often sealed shut or repurposed for other uses. Transom windows. Look above a door in an old house and you might see a small horizontal pane of glass. That's a transom window. Before electric lighting systems became widespread, these windows played an extremely important role. They allowed natural light to pass through, helping to brighten dark spaces like hallways, which often didn't have large windows. What's more, many transom windows could be opened, allowing for better natural airflow. This helped effectively regulate indoor temperature before air conditioning, especially on hot days. They were a smart solution to make the most of natural light and ventilation. However, the development of artificial lighting and HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Technology made transom windows less functionally necessary. Nevertheless, they are still highly valued for their timeless beauty and classic architectural appeal. Some modern homeowners are even bringing them back into home designs to enhance natural light and ventilation, while also providing a charming vintage look. Picture rails. If you look closely in historic homes, you'll see a thin strip of molding running along the upper part of the wall, just below the ceiling. This is a picture rail, a feature that was extremely popular from the mid-1800s. During that period, most walls were made of rather fragile plaster, which was easily damaged if nails were driven directly into them to hang pictures. Picture rails elegantly solved this problem. By using movable hooks that could be placed along the rail, people could hang artwork with cords without damaging the walls. This also allowed for easy repositioning or removal of art without leaving marks. With the advent of more durable building materials like drywall in the 1940s, nailing directly into walls became simpler and less damaging, causing picture rails to gradually become obsolete. However, they are still commonly seen in historic homes. Interestingly, some modern homeowners are bringing picture rails back into their designs. They not only love the classic charm it brings, but also the convenience of redecorating without drilling into walls. Home intercom systems. In an era when mobile phones and the internet were still science fiction, communicating between rooms in a large house could be quite difficult, often requiring shouting or a lot of walking. That's why home intercom systems came into being. These were wired devices, permanently installed in walls in various rooms, allowing homeowners to talk between different rooms or floors easily and privately. Some systems even included a front door intercom, enabling homeowners to speak with guests without opening the door. This was a symbol of convenience and modernity in luxurious homes of that time. However, the exploding growth of mobile phones and smart home technology made traditional intercom systems obsolete. Now, we can text, call with smartphones, or even use smart doorbells with cameras to communicate with guests remotely. Currently, many old intercom systems are often just decorative relics rather than functional tools. Pocket doors. Among old house features, pocket doors are an extremely smart and flexible design solution. Unlike traditional swing doors that take up space when opening and closing, pocket doors are designed to slide seamlessly into a recess within the wall. This significantly saves floor space and creates excellent flexibility for living spaces. You can easily transform an open space into two separate rooms when privacy is needed, or expand them to create a larger space when hosting parties. This is a brilliant idea to quickly change the layout and function of a room. Despite their many benefits, pocket doors are less common in modern construction, partly due to complex installation costs and the need for special wall space. However, with the increasing demand for optimizing living space and creating flexibility, pocket doors are gradually becoming loved by many and desire to be brought back into contemporary home designs. If you could bring one feature from the past back into your modern home, which one would you choose and why? Let us know. Defined room layouts. When you step into an old house, you'll often notice a distinct difference compared to modern homes. They tend to have more smaller, diversely shaped rooms, and each room is often separated by multiple doors. This is known as a defined room layout, a design style that prioritized privacy and energy efficiency. In the past, closing off individual rooms helped easily maintain privacy for different activities, while also allowing heat or cooling systems to be concentrated into occupied areas, avoiding energy waste for the entire house. Each room had a distinct function: living room, dining room, bedrooms, etc., all clearly delineated. However, the open concept home trend has become extremely popular in modern design, emphasizing spaciousness, connected spaces, and an airy feel. Nevertheless, many modern home buyers still express a fondness for clearly defined spaces. They seek more privacy, less noise, and a cozy, purposeful feel that defined room layouts provide. This demonstrates the diversity in preferences and needs for living spaces. Built-in kitchen desk. In the kitchens of old houses, you might surprisingly find a small workspace cleverly integrated into the overall kitchen design. This wasn't an extra dining table, but an actual workspace. Its original purpose was often a place for the landline phone, a small nook for children to do homework, or where the homemaker could pay bills and manage household tasks. This was a convenient solution, efficiently utilizing space in a room that was often the center of all family activities. However, with the advent of laptops, smartphones, and the rise of dedicated workspaces or home offices, kitchen desks have become obsolete. Now we can work anywhere in the house with our mobile devices. Nevertheless, some people still find these desks useful for placing printers, charging mobile devices, or simply as a small space for notes. Knob and tube wiring. Knob and tube wiring is one of the earliest widely used electrical systems, emerging from approximately 1880 to 1930. This system consisted of single insulated copper wires, running freely through hollow spaces in walls and ceilings. To insulate the wires where they passed through wood framing and to hold them in place, small ceramic tubes and porcelain knobs were used. This was a groundbreaking solution at the time, allowing electricity to be brought into every room of the house. However, with the increasing power demands of modern appliances, this system gradually came to be considered a potential fire hazard. The wire's insulation could become brittle or damaged over time. And more importantly, this system lacked a grounding feature, a basic safety element in modern electrical systems. Therefore, most houses using knob and tube wiring need to have their electrical systems upgraded to ensure safety and comply with current standards. Large front porches, wraparound porches. If you wander through old neighborhoods, you'll easily spot houses with spacious, airy porches, often wrapping around multiple sides of the house. These are large front porches or verandas. This feature was extremely common in classic homes. Their purpose was to provide an ideal outdoor space for leisure, relaxation, or social interaction. Imagine families gathering on the porch on summer evenings, chatting with neighbors, or simply reading and enjoying the fresh air. This was an indispensable part of community life and connectivity between families back then. However, modern home designs often feature smaller porches, primarily decorative rather than functional living spaces. Changes in lifestyle, more private living trends, and increased use of backyards have reduced the role of front porches. Nevertheless, these large porches are still highly sought after because they bring a sense of nostalgia, peace, and are a wonderful space to enjoy the outdoors and connect with the community. Mudroom. A mudroom is a small but incredibly practical utility room, often located near a secondary entrance of the house. This space was specifically designed for you to take off dirty clothes, shoes, or other soiled items without tracking dirt into the main living areas of the house. Mudrooms were often equipped with shoe racks, coat hooks, and sometimes even a small sink for quick cleanup. This was a perfect solution for keeping the house clean, especially after outdoor activities, gardening, or when having pets. However, in modern home designs, mudrooms are often completely eliminated or downsized to optimize building area. This sometimes leads to shoes and coats cluttering the main entrance. Nevertheless, mudrooms are still highly valued for their practicality and utility, especially useful for families with small children, pets, or those living in harsh climates with frequent rain or snow. Broom closets, linen closets. In houses built in the past, having specialized closets like broom closets and linen closets was very common and taken for granted. Broom closets were specifically designed to neatly store long cleaning tools like brooms, vacuum cleaners, and mops, ensuring they didn't clutter corners of the house. Meanwhile, linen closets were the ideal place to store bed linens, towels, blankets, and other laundry items, keeping them clean and organized. These closets helped optimize household organization. However, in many new home designs today, these specialized closets are often missing or replaced by a few small, insufficient cabinets. The trend of space minimalism sometimes eliminates these practical storage features. Nevertheless, broom closets and linen closets are still considered important functional features. They help homeowners easily keep the house tidy and organized, and are a feature many look for when choosing a home. Large utility sinks / concrete slop sinks. In the basement or laundry room of many old houses, you might find a huge sink, often made of concrete. This is a large utility sink, also known as a concrete slop sink. Its size and durable material indicate its very versatile and practical purpose. This sink was used to wash soiled clothes, empty dirty mop buckets, bathe pets, or wash other large items that you wouldn't want to wash in a kitchen sink. It was especially useful for tasks involving dirt, paint, or heavy grime. This was an extremely convenient cleanup solution for messy tasks. However, the advent of modern washing machines and smaller, more contemporary utility sinks made these huge concrete sinks less common. Nevertheless, they are still desired by many for their incredible durability and versatility in use. Whole house exhaust fans / attic fans. Before air conditioning became widespread, whole house exhaust fans, also known as attic fans, were an extremely effective and smart cooling solution. This was a large fan installed on the ceiling or in the attic. Its purpose was to pull hot air accumulated inside the house outwards and simultaneously draw cool air from outside inwards through open windows. This created a strong convective airflow, helping to quickly and effectively cool the entire house, especially at night when outdoor temperatures dropped. It was an energy-efficient way to keep the house comfortable during hot months. However, with the widespread popularity and superior efficiency of air conditioning units, whole house fans gradually lost their dominant position. Nevertheless, they are still highly valued for their ability to quickly ventilate, effectively remove odors, and provide natural cooling, especially in certain climates where air conditioning isn't always necessary. Are there any other peculiar old house features we missed on this list? Comment and share your story. Conversation pits. Stepping into a living room designed in the 1960s to 1970s, you might encounter an unusual seating area. A circular or square space sunken deep into the floor, often with integrated seating surrounding a table or fireplace. This was a conversation pit. a unique interior design trend of that era. Its main purpose was to encourage intimate conversations and create a cozy, close-knit feeling among those sitting in it. Sitting at eye level with each other in a separate space, isolated from the rest of the room, created an ideal environment for open communication. It was a symbol of comfort and style of the 60s and 70s. However, safety concerns like the risk of tripping when moving around the room, along with a shift in interior design trends towards more open and flexible spaces, caused conversation pits to gradually disappear. Built-in shelves, china cabinets. One of the distinctive charms of old houses is the presence of built-in shelves and cabinets, often constructed directly into the wall structure. These shelves frequently featured intricate wooden details, elaborate decorative moldings, and sometimes glass doors to display precious china sets, china cabinets. They not only provided functional storage space, but also added a unique charm, character, and personality to the home. Instead of using freestanding furniture, built-in cabinets were considered an integral part of the architecture, creating a sense of luxury and permanence. However, with the prevalent minimalist design and open concept trends today, many new homes have eliminated or minimized these elements to create a more open feel. Nevertheless, built-in shelves and cabinets are still loved by many for their timeless aesthetic value and efficient storage capabilities. They bring personality and depth to the house, making the space much cozier and more soulful. They are small details that contain a whole story about the art of living and architectural aesthetics. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic journey back in time. If you love stories about the past and want to discover more forgotten mysteries in architecture and daily life, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with your friends and family. See you in the next video.